I don't know, Joan, if you can see it from your vantage point, Joan, but there's a growing crowd of people out in front of the building.
Oh, no.
And they've got torches, and I think I see pitchforks.
Yeah. What do we do now?
Well, apparently YouTube TV, Supertalk TV, is not working.
Oh,
and the natives are getting restless.
I thought they were clamoring to see your newest hat.
No, this is actually, to be honest with you, Joan, this is my original hat, but don't want to obsess over my hats today. But, yeah, apparently you folks that are no doubt trying to figure out what is going on with YouTube TV, Supertalk TV, it is not working right now. And
Sam is working very hard to make sure it gets back online.
He's got the smoke coming out of his ears. Sam said, we're frozen. Which means that somebody has probably been messing with the equipment again. But anyway, so we're just going to carry on because we are actually a radio show, and I believe that is what we do best. Sorry about that. Coffee in the throat. All right, so real quick. Joan, you were talking about the shooting in Minneapolis overnight.
Yeah.
So I love the headline from CNN. It's on CNN in here tonight. I don't know why this morning, but so CNN, the headline was, of course, and you and I were talking about this when I came in this morning, where the media is just, they're just willfully not telling the entire story.
Or completely hiding the truth.
It's insane. So the headline on CNN was basically tense protests after ICE shoots second man. So in reality, what happened, as you were reporting accurately, Joan, the ICE agent was assaulted by not one, not two, but 3 individuals.
Involving a shovel and a broom handle.
Guy was being beaten with shovels and broom handles. And so he pulls out his gun, justifiably so, and he starts shooting. This is how Bill Malusian on Fox News, he was talking about this. This is the report last night as news broke.
DHS says at 6:50 p.m. Central Time tonight, quote, federal law enforcement officers were conducting a targeted traffic stop in Minneapolis of an illegal alien from Venezuela who was released into the country by Joe Biden in 2022. In an attempt to evade arrest, the subject fled the scene in his vehicle and crashed into a parked car. The subject then fled on foot. The law enforcement officer caught up to the subject on foot and attempted to apprehend him when the subject began to resist and violently assault the officer. While the subject and law enforcement were in a struggle on the ground, 2 subjects came out of a nearby apartment and also attacked the law enforcement officer with a snow shovel and broom handle. As the officer was being ambushed and attacked by the 2 individuals, the original subject got loose and began striking the officer with a shovel or broomstick.
Joan, you ever been hit by a broomstick? I have.
Not.
I have.
You have?
Yeah.
Your mom get you?
My drunken grandmother.
Oh.
She got so mad at me one time.
You have the most lovely family stories.
Well, so I come from a long line of drunks. Everybody knows that. So somehow the alcoholic gene didn't impact me, but like everybody around me in my family, they're all just, a walking AA meeting. So she got really angry with me because I had done something. We threw a baseball, it broke, whatever. So, but she got so mad she hit me with a broom. I'm like 8.
Goodness.
Yeah. And so the reason I'm saying this is because it ain't fun getting hit with a broom. And so this ICE officer is chasing a illegal alien, and
he was in a car. And the car crashes.
Yeah.
And the illegal alien gets out of the car and starts to run away.
Mm-hmm.
Cop chases him down on foot, and that's when they get into a scuffle.
Yeah, and then two other guys end up coming out of an apartment complex, and they start beating up the ICE agent. So then it's 3 against 1.
Yeah.
I'd be a little bit more concerned about the shovel, personally.
I thought so, too. Like
that can crack a skull.
Yeah.
Well, luckily, my old grandmother was too weak to actually be able to lift up a shovel. I was safe from the shovels. Plus, we didn't have a lot of snow shovels in California. There was that aspect of it, too. Are we working on TV now?
Breaking news, we're working on TV.
Look at that. We're working on TV. All right, very good.
Hey, you want to hear how the New York Times did the story?
Sure. Go ahead, Joan.
The headline says, federal agent shoots immigrant in Minneapolis, Homeland Security says.
Wow.
These people, you and I know everybody says the same thing all the time. You don't hate the media enough. You don't hate them enough.
You know what? I had a lot of people comment on yesterday's 5 o'clock hour when I had that thing with Channel 5.
Yeah.
Channel 5. And that had to be some of the worst reporting I've seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the deal. I've seen a lot of really bad reporting. That was absolutely abhorrently terrible reporting by Channel 5. I guess they're so distracted by, trying to hunt down white supremacy that they can't be bothered with
and Christian nationalists.
And don't forget, I sent you guys the other day, Phil Williams was asking for protest photos following Renee Good's situation.
Was he going to scan them for white supremacists?
Well, he wanted to share them.
He wanted to make sure he shared them so that he could gin up some more controversy.
Yes. Good old Phil. Anyway, more from what happened in Minneapolis last night after an ICE agent had to defend himself against not one, not two, but 3 people who were battering him with brooms and snow shovels.
Fearing for his life and safety as he was being ambushed by 3 individuals, the officer fired defensive shots to defend his life. The initial subject was hit in the leg. All 3 subjects ran back into the apartment and barricaded themselves inside. The attacked officer and subject are both in the hospital. Both attackers are in custody. This attack on another brave member of law enforcement took place while Minnesota's top leaders, Governor Walz and Mayor Frey, are actively encouraging an organized resistance to ICE and federal law enforcement officers. Their hateful rhetoric and resistance against men and women who are simply trying to do their jobs must end.
So now you have, Tim Walz. I've got some audio from this. Tim Walz had I guess what you would call a primetime presser last night. And it's the same old stuff with this guy, Tampon Tim. And he's demonizing ICE. He's demonizing, federal law enforcement. And it's all just the same stuff. Because what they're trying to do, what's interesting is Tim Walz keeps saying, and so does Jacob Frey, they keep saying, don't take the bait, right? They're calling for peace. They're calling for, calm. Well, the reality is that those are just words. But the other words that they're saying, talking about the demonization of ICE and they're, disappearing people and kidnapping people and, ripping people off the streets. That's why these people are doing what they're doing, which is, lighting fireworks and throwing it at law enforcement, throwing things at law enforcement, attacking law enforcement, and the rest of this nonsense. So when these morons on the left get a face full of pepper spray or whatever that stuff is, you know what? They can thank Tampon Tim because and Jacob Frey because they are the ones that are inspiring all of this. It is 5:15. Got a lot more straight ahead. Yeah, Governor Walz, breaking news. Donald Trump wants this chaos. Donald Trump does not want this chaos. Donald Trump is trying to stop the chaos. By the way, speaking of chaos, Iran, it looks like, I don't know what you've seen this morning, Joan, but it looks like the situation with Iran is not nearly as tense. Supposedly now, they did not, we talked about this yesterday. Remember Iran, they're going to execute that protester. Donald Trump said, you're not going to execute him. There's going to be big problems if you do. Iran has backed down. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of layers with Iran. We're going to get into all of that and a whole lot more. Straight ahead, it is Nashville's Morning News. Hey, here's what I know about the weather. It is flipping cold outside.
Flipping cold. So cold and breezy today. And then a brief warm up on Friday. But the breezy today means that things are it's going to go up to 35 degrees in the sun, but it's not going to feel like 35 degrees because of the breezes. So there you go.
Is everybody's phone working today?
I'm not on Verizon.
You're not on Verizon?
Yeah. But my kids that live in Maryland, they are all on Verizon, and I couldn't get in touch with anybody last night. Mom was freaking out.
I had because my daughter and I were both very busy, so we actually have to, believe it or not, schedule phone calls.
Yeah,
we're constantly texting back and forth, but you like to have conversations, and I mean we we tried all day.
Yep.
And I just couldn't get a call out.
Yep.
So is everything working now with Verizon?
Verizon, yes, says everything's
Okay.
working now. And I'm going to have a story about that coming up in the 6 o'clock newscast about how they're going to make good on that outage, that day-long outage yesterday.
What happened? Do we know?
I don't know quite yet.
Could we
I'm
blame
still looking
like
into it.
Iran? Was it like Iran? Was it North
See,
Korea?
That was what I was thinking too.
See, I think, you know what?
Iran is not capable of anything like that.
I am so conspiracy, riddled that a light bulb goes out in my
Yes.
house and I think it's North Korea.
Do
You know what I mean?
Do you unscrew it and check to see if there's something inside listening to you? Like, I
No.
think we're all kind of that.
Yeah.
Is it just me?
No, it's not just you.
Okay.
I'm doing the same kind of stuff. So
China?
or it's China. It could be China.
China?
It could be Iran. But you say they're not capable. I don't know if they're capable or not.
No,
I've
they're not.
interviewed. Well, listen, I'm not dismissing your credibility, Sam, because you're a very smart guy. I've interviewed a lot of people that says that Iran does have that capability, but I really don't know.
On a lesser nation, probably.
Yeah, but not on us.
Not on us.
Okay.
So, did you happen to see the interview last night with Brett Baer and Iran's foreign minister?
You know what? I didn't see it.
My gosh.
All right, sure. I've got a couple of clips.
Yes, good.
And so just so you folks know how I usually do my show prep, I wake up, I fully flesh out like 2 or 3 topics, and then I have like sort of sidebar topics, that I will work on while I'm here. So that's one of those sidebar topics. But describe it, Joan, because I actually literally don't know what happened.
So the guy was gaslighting every single issue, lying his face off. His what he was going with was those people who were killed in Iran, they weren't killed by the Iran government. They were killed by the Mossad, who came into Iran and shot them all in order to get the U.S. into Iran to start a war.
Wow, that is circuitous.
Oh, yeah. It was crazy. This guy was the lies that were coming out of his mouth. And sometimes Brett Baer's a little soft on his approach, but he wasn't last night with this guy. He was going right at him.
You know what? I think I found this.
Yeah.
It's 2 minutes and 19 seconds.
Okay.
So
it's pretty good. I mean, honestly.
Well, I don't have time to do it now. So maybe at 5:35 we'll play this audio from Iran's foreign minister, whose Israeli Mossad agents are killing protesters, police, and starting fights inside Iran to draw Trump into a conflict.
It was really, and at the end of it, he was so defensive because Brett Baer kept on saying, yeah, but our reporting shows this. Yeah, but our reporting shows this. And he just lied all through it. And at the end, when he said goodbye, he had this big smile on his face. And he just wanted to,
Clip that. Okay, moving right along. Yeah. All right, so we'll do that. I have a lot to talk about this morning. Looking forward to including you. Have you seen the growth in Gallatin? There is a story out. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but there is a story in the news about how incredibly fast Gallatin is growing. I thought Mount Juliet was growing quickly. Gallatin, oh my goodness gracious. So we're going to talk about that as well. We have a lot to talk about. It is Nashville's Morning News, 520 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. By the way, going to get the Super Text line up and running, 615-737-9986. Joan, we're talking about the media.
Yeah.
So did you see the story of the woman who was dragged out of her car?
Yes.
And she claimed that she was disabled and just going to the doctor.
She had a brain, something wrong with her brain.
Oh, she's got something wrong with her brain, all
yeah,
right.
that's what I was thinking too.
So now people, Joan, from other parts of Middle Tennessee are saying, well, Gallatin might be growing, but what about White House? What about Columbia? Listen, all of Middle Tennessee is blowing up I would say blowing up in a good way. Other people would say not blowing up in a good way because a lot of folks that don't like people coming into our region. But I think that, it's nice to have people coming in. It's a lot better than living in places like California where everybody is trying to run from the state and Gavin Newsom. So we'll get into all of that here in a little bit. There is a woman. I need some video here if we could. There is a woman who made headlines here in the last couple of days. She, stop me when you've heard this before. She's in her car, and it's in Minnesota. And she's refusing to get out of the way. The ICE agents are saying, go down that road, go down that road. And if you can see on Super Talk TV, I'll explain it to folks on the radio, where they're telling her which way to go. And she's playing Mickey the Dummy. Like, what? What am I doing wrong? And she won't go where she is supposed to go. Instead, she's just arguing. And by the way, as all of this is going on, you've got all these people that are surrounding ICE as they're trying to tell this woman which direction she's going to go. Because what she's ultimately doing is she's blocking ICE from doing their job. And she simply will not get out of the way. So then... And again, hearkening to yesterday's show, they pull her out of the car. She starts screaming. Let me fast forward this a little bit. They pull her out of the car, and she starts screaming. She's handicapped and she just wants to go to the doctor. That's all she wants to do. She's crying. She's holding on to the door. They're now trying to pick her up from behind. And it turns into a complete train wreck. And of course, this is exactly what the Democrats want. This is exactly what the media wants. So now she became, of course, a cause celeb. Well, now we know who this is. She's not just some innocent woman who is on her way to the doctor. Turns out her name is Elia Rahman. And she is a U.S.-born citizen and social justice warrior. They say that she is a social justice trainer who dedicates her life to racial justice, similar causes, and LGBTQ-type issues. Now, Sam, I might need your help on this one. She identifies as being a genderqueer and apparently was dating or is dating a transgender. Can you do that math for me? So if somebody is a gender queer, I'm not entirely certain. I don't know, Joan, do you know what a gender queer is?
I haven't. No, I'm trying to still figure it out in my head, too.
Okay, so somebody...
Very sad, broken person, from what I gather.
There you go.
Well, yeah, but I mean, what does a gender queer identify as?
Well, queer means strange, so...
Gender queer refers to a person whose gender identity falls outside traditional male-female binary norms, encompassing identities to include non-binary, gender fluid, agender, and is also the title of a... Never mind. It's sad.
It's the word strange with extra steps.
Yeah.
And if you're, I guess, did they specify their partner's identity?
No, just a transgender. What'd you say, Joan?
Don't use they. It's a her.
Third person, they is in...
Oh, no, okay. Did I say they? Whatever.
No, she was saying no.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. So this woman identifying as genderqueer, dating a transgender, I can't keep all this straight. Like, I truly can't.
Neither can they.
You're right. She's had several run-ins with the law, but so now we know. So this woman who was portrayed as a victim in the media... If you see the video, they queued up the video right to when ICE was pulling her out of the vehicle, and she's screaming like a genderqueer. And now we know that sounds like she was intentionally blocking the roadway. And she is a social justice warrior, social justice causes, all of these LGBTQ type issues, and some sort of a social justice trainer as well. So, no, she wasn't just some innocent, handicapped person that was going to the doctor, although...
She wasn't there to ask them a query.
Wah, wah. All right, I've had some throat coat, Joan, so I hope that I won't have the issues I just had in the previous segment.
Yeah, you're a little snarkly this morning.
Snarkly? It smells like I've been... It smells. It sounds like I've been drinking... I've been smoking a bunch of Pall Malls. You know, like I make that joke sometimes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's...
do me a favor and keep your germs over there? Like
okay,
way
Joan.
over there?
Sure. No, it's just the usual throat crud that I sometimes get. Yeah. Anyway, so a couple of audio things that I really want to do today. That testimony with Josh Hawley as he is trying to get one of these just fantastically stupid professors to, define what a woman is. So I'm not sure if you've heard that. It is.
This is too funny.
It is so funny. So we're going to get into that. But first, I want to, let me find out where that's coming from. I want to play this audio of and Joan, you were telling me about this. I have not heard this. This is Bret Baier, and he's talking to the foreign minister of Iran, who he is claiming that Israeli terrorists are actually the ones that are causing all of the chaos in Iran. And as you said, Joan, apparently he is gaslighting America. And Bret Baier wouldn't let him off the hook. Here's how it went.
For one reason, they wanted to increase the number of deaths. Why? Because President Trump has said that if there are killings, he would intervene. And they wanted to drag him into this conflict. And that was exactly an Israeli plot. They wanted to drag the president of the United States in this conflict.
So he's saying it's Israel. It's like an Israeli plot.
Yeah.
I had kind of like a text argument with somebody about this yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yes. Like, I mean, everybody's free with their own opinion, but it's like, give me some proof.
Yeah.
Like, just give me a shred of it. And you know what? I don't like to argue with people when I'm off. Like, when I'm off doing stuff, the last thing I want to do is talk about Iran and Israel and all.
So what was this person saying to you?
Benjamin Netanyahu is behind this. It's all Bibi's fault.
Yeah. This foreign minister said they came in. I don't know if this was part of what you just played. They came in, they used Daesh-style terrorist operations. They got police officers, burned them alive, beheaded them, and then started shooting at police officers and also at people.
Wait a minute. You mean what Hamas did to Israel?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Right? Because that's exactly what Hamas did.
Yeah.
All right, here's more.
So they started to increase the number of deaths by killing ordinary people, by killing police officers, by starting a kind of, fighting inside the different cities.
Mr. Foreign Minister, you're saying that
now the look on Bret Baier's face.
I know.
The look on Bret Baier's face. You don't see that look often. I like Bret Baier. Some people don't. I like Bret Baier. But the look on his face is like, are you kidding me? Really, this is where you're going with this?
Mr. Minister, you're about to tell me that the exact same plan that you executed against the Israelis through Hamas is what happened to you? You didn't get that idea from anywhere else?
Inside the different cities.
Mr. Foreign Minister, you're saying that these killings, these deaths are at the hands of foreign elements inside your country, not by the Iranian regime. That's not what we're being told when we get people to talk to us on the ground. The internet has been shut off, but occasionally turns back on, and we do hear from people on the ground who tell us various stories. Witnesses spoke of seeing snipers positioned on rooftops in downtown Tehran, firing into crowds of peaceful protests, turning abruptly into scenes of carnage, panic as bullets pierced through people's heads and torsos, sending bodies toppling to the ground, and an emergency room treating 19 gunshot patients in a single hour. The regime is on a killing spree, said one protester, and we've seen the video of body bags stacking up. You are saying that all of this is because you're not in control of your country and foreign elements are killing people inside your country?
No, I'm telling you that it was a fighting between our security forces and terrorist elements who had a plan to create a big number of killings in order to provoke President Trump to enter into this conflict and start a new war against Iran. And that was exactly an Israeli plot. The footages that you mentioned have not been seen in Iran.
This dude sounds as credible as Vladimir Putin.
It was honestly the most astonishing interview I had ever seen.
I have to tell you that a misinformation campaign is going on at the same time.
And you're suggesting that it's Israel and Mossad acting like Iranian forces, shooting the Iranian people to make casualties to spur on the action of President Trump. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that don't believe that, Mr. Foreign Minister.
No, Mossad has already confessed that.
They may be on the ground, sir, but as far as them killing hundreds and hundreds of people to make it look like you did, it does not appear in the video that we get out.
Yeah, there you go. Brett Baer. Hey, do you ever wonder why they even bother to interview, Iran's foreign minister as they get out here and try to defend what they've been doing? By the way, so breaking news on CNN is that Donald Trump, and I have this as part of my news stories today, the president did say yesterday that, yes, indeed, it does look like things may be calming down in Iran. Now, I don't know if that's true or not because we don't really know what's happening on the ground in Iran. Here's what I do know. I do know that you have the folks in Iran, the regime in Iran. I do believe that they're pretty scared. I do believe that they are not having a good time realizing that Donald Trump, and this is part of the news cycle today, that Donald Trump is sending our warships into the Red Sea. I think it's the Red Sea, into their region. And so now they're looking at all of this and they're saying, okay, so now the American military apparently is getting involved. They did not execute that 26-year-old man. His name is Irfan Soltani. We spoke to Stephen Bucci yesterday about all of this. He's a foreign policy guy with the Heritage Foundation, and this is part of what he had to say.
Them executing this one guy, okay, it's a tragedy. They're killing people all over the country, like continually right now. They're just firing with live ammo, not riot control stuff, into crowds in Tehran and all the other big population centers. They have basically killed way more people in repressing this just, essentially a couple week-long event than they have in any of the other ones before it. So this is pretty serious. When a regime is that over the top in their response, it means they're feeling weak, not that they're feeling strong.
That actually makes a lot of sense. So now the latest on this, the president has sent a carrier strike group to the Middle East. The group has to go from the South China Sea to what's known as the U.S. Central Command Area of Responsibility, which would be the Middle East. And what's your estimates on the number of people killed? They're all over the place.
So yeah, I grokked it. And so take into consideration that there's that internet blackout that they are keeping their civilians under. So like I guess the more official reporting would be 500 to 3,400 people just in the week of January 8th to 15th. But other reports are saying it can be anywhere from 12 to 20,000.
12 to 20,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what it jives with what I was saying yesterday, where some people are saying, this is how crazy it gets. It could be from 2,000, 3,000, all the way up to 20,000. And they've got, does it say how many people they believe may or may not be jailed? Because yesterday the number was something like 18,000. And it was crazy, the amount of people that they were talking about that were jailed. And you never know what Iran's going to do with all of those people they've got in jail. Are they going to kill them? Are they actually going to release them? Part of what they're trying to do, in my opinion, part of what Iran is trying to do is pacify Donald Trump. Because, and remember what I said yesterday, is Donald Trump literally said, if you execute this guy, there will be problems. And so I think that was sort of Donald Trump's red line. And as Stephen Bucci said, listen, the one guy, okay, we can talk about the one guy, but let's talk about the amount of people that Iran has been killing. I mean, just out in the streets. We just heard the reporting with Brett Baer and the interview with one of the Iranian leaders there, where they were talking about, snipers on buildings and just killing people indiscriminately who may be out on the streets protesting. So you've got a lot going on in Iran. They do have that military, they do have that internet blackout in Iran. So we really don't know if it's true that Iran is starting to scale back. Donald Trump said yesterday that he does believe that the tensions are decreasing a bit in Iran. Do we know how many people jailed?
So there's a couple of different reports on it. One of the activist groups says it could be somewhere in the 18,000 range to almost 18,500. But the U.S. State Department's official numbers as of yesterday, it's going to be just a hair over 10,000. and tracking with that on the arrestees, the amount of people that could have been killed, people forget this is a country of 90 million.
It's huge.
There's plenty of fodder, unfortunately.
One of the things, Joan, have you seen this? And I don't have an example. Maybe you can find one for me.
Yeah, what?
You have the women in the hijabs.
Yeah.
And they're taking to social media. And basically what they're doing is they've got their hijab on, and some of them even have the face coverings too. And they're ripping them off.
Yes.
And
I've seen this.
And here
they have very brave messages written on their T-shirts after they rip off the hijab.
Oh, what did they say? One of them said F.
Yeah.
You know. And here's the crazy thing is that I'm just going to say this. It's very striking because it's the very familiar sight that we've seen, women in hijab and the face coverings and all that.
Yeah.
They ripped them off, and underneath, I mean, the most beautiful young women.
Yes. Yes.
And the irony of basically Iran being taken over by a leftist regime in the late 70s, that people were proudly putting the hijab on, and all the women in universities were proudly doing it like they are now in America with the kathiyas as well, where they proudly wear something they have no idea what it actually means.
This is a woman, she went viral. I think she's a TikToker, but she's Iranian. Got video here. She's an Iranian, and she's talking about how important what is going on in Iran. She's talking about how important it is that these protesters ultimately are successful.
We are in the middle of the Iranian Revolution. After 47 years of Islamic oppression by those terrorist ayatollahs, Iranians are rising up. Iranians are fighting back. It's full-on civil war in occupied Iran right now. This is the moment that we Iranians have been preparing for the last 47 years since the Islamic Republic occupied our country back in 1979. Iranians are fighting back against Islam. They're fighting back against the Islamic Republic. They're fighting back against Sharia law. It's literally Iran versus Islam. What's happening right now in occupied Iran, I'm telling you, this is going to be bigger than the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Stephen Bucci kind of said the same thing yesterday, where he talked about how this could be the most important development in the Middle East in decades and decades. So we'll have to see ultimately what happens. This could be a time of transition for Iran. I remain concerned that if we get involved, what is the plan for what's next? And that's one of the things, and I'll get into this probably in the 6 or the 7 o'clock hour, but that's one of the things that I asked Stephen Bucci. Okay, so you've got the military, you've got the Islamic Republic Guard or whatever it is. So you got them, and so are they going to help in the transition? And here's the big problem that you could see in Iran is that if you see the military factions within the military start warring each other, you're going to have, this woman's talking about an all-out civil war, but here's the problem, is that if you ultimately end up having the military fighting, you've got all of these other groups in Iran that will also fight to fill that power vacuum, and we could end up with something perhaps even worse than we already have. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. If we're going to go in and we're going to do something, then we need to make sure that there is some sort of a plan.
I was talking to my best friend who served 4 years in the Army and was stationed in Afghanistan and Iran. And he said, we should just DoorDash them some guns. Let's wait for the faction that we like that'll align with our interests to come out. We'll just DoorDash them some weaponry and let them do.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes, as we found out in the past, that weaponry gets into the wrong hands.
Well, that's if you just leave it in the Afghanistan desert for the Taliban.
Like Joe Biden?
Yeah. It was $85 billion. I'm talking about a few million, not 85
By the
billion.
way, in Minnesota, now we're kind of jumping around all over the place, and we'll get more focused in the 6. Do you know what happened last night in Minnesota? Have you seen this, Joan? So in Minnesota, after the ICE agent shot that one guy after he was ambushed by 3, you now have some of these people. What's that?
All heck broke loose.
All heck broke loose, and they're apparently stealing the weaponry of ICE officers. They were breaking into their cars. They're vandalizing the cars. They broke into the cars and the vans, and they absconded with weapons.
Whoa.
So, yeah, that is part of what happened last night in Minneapolis. Headline from CNN, tense protests after federal agent shoots man in Minneapolis after said man was attacked by not one, not two, but three people with broomsticks and snow shovels. By the way, one guy says that, and Joan, you would probably maybe know more than I would about snow shovels. One guy says snow shovels are flimsy and weak.
Oh, that's insane. Can you shovel heavy snow with something that's flimsy and weak?
No, you can't.
Give me a break.
You know what? You yell at him on the super text line. Joan, you go, girl.
Where is he? I'm going to find him.
I don't know. We're getting a lot of input today.
Just a reminder, Kyle Rittenhouse was attacked with a skateboard.